Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening. I'm Jake, the Candid Craftsman, back again. In today's video, we'll be finishing up something I worked on 2 videos ago, which was the checkerboard maple and walnut cutting board. And here it is complete. Turned out really nice. Excited to be able to show you how I made it and show you the process, right? So this is past the milestone of glue up. This is everything from, this video is everything from router sled, right, surfacing the material, to sanding, okay, and putting the edge on. How I treat the edge to kind of give it a little glimmer. I gotta be patient here and see if I can get that edge to focus, maybe. That's glass. That looks like, I'm looking at a reflection. It's nice. So, yeah, it even sounds good. That's how you know it's good. But, there's that. I also really quick want to show you another board. A couple weeks back, I made a couple of these cherry EndGrain boards that are just, they're just immaculate. Look at that. That pinkish color of the cherry. With the 45-degree edge, it's a different look. Yes, it's more square and hefty. I was thinking steak plate, honestly, myself. I was thinking, just imagine eating a steak off of this. That would be a fun experience. But anyway, had to show you this. That's how I wrap my product up behind it. Unless I gotta showcase something and take photos. And this showcase booth I have set up here, it's getting wrapped in bubble wrap. So to ensure that it doesn't get dented or dinged. This wood is so hard, it's hard to ding it in the first place. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. I hope this is a nice little short and sweet interaction, one-on-one. And thanks. Please like and subscribe. Yeah. Grow the channel. Here's that walnut stock for that kitchen sink coming up. But today we're working on that glue up. We're going to transform that glue up into an EndGrain cutting board. We're going to go from rough to playing it smooth on the router sled. Use that router bit to clean up all the glue and get it to the right thickness, which this board comes out to be 1 inch thick. Here I'm being real careful while I'm cutting this because it's a little off, and sometimes it'll get pinched on a table saw and be a total catastrophe. I want to do a discretion here. Don't try any of this at home. But enough of that. Let's clip this little piece of maple off, and then we're gonna flip the board over and get all the rough ends on the other side. But this isn't pretty, but I wanted to include it because I haven't done much table saw footage compared to the sanding footage in the last video. I felt like it was never gonna stop, but it's needed. And I ended up running that walnut over the joiner. If you watched the last video with the walnut kitchen sink video, I ended up running that walnut over the joiner anyway, so when I go and make this glue up, it'll bond together flush and square. But anyway, just like this board here. Sorry about listening to my shenanigans at the beginning. I'm not sorry, I gotta have a little bit of personalization on the channel, or you're just watching a guy in a mask, cut wood like. But anyway, I am trying to sell some of these, so it would be much obliged if you check them out. Check my Etsy account. Share it by all means. Share it on social media, whatever. But out here working in the woods, it's awfully peaceful. A lot of birds just chilling, while you're doing this. You get all the serenity in the world while you do this stressful, intricate work. But anyway. Got those 2 rough edges cut less rough. They're not finished yet. Here I'm swapping out the router bit, the cutter head bit. The whole goal of this is to make this board perfectly flat. So when you set it on the cutting, your actual countertop, you don't need feet on this thing. It's so flat because of this process I do here with the router sled. Of course, trying to catch I included this here because this is kind of, I try to catch a radio station here, but I didn't get anything but commercials, so back off goes the radio. Thought that was funny. I wanted to include that in the video. This is the router sled, the homemade router sled. It's featured in, I believe, one other video. And this thing is awesome. I have to make a bigger one, actually. Maybe I could make a video just on making the router sled jig itself for this walnut cutting board that's insets into like a sink. It's much bigger than this, so I'm probably going to, it's taller too, it's about 1/4 inch taller than this, which I think the rails that I have sitting vertically off of my workbench will be too small, so I'll have to make taller rails. Here's a little exhaust clip that I thought was pretty cool to show you how I kind of aim the router to make sure it exhausts pretty effectively off the end of the table there. Yeah, the old, I'll say it, that Sears Craftsman. It was a gift, and it still runs like a champ. It's a great tool. You gotta keep your tools dry. Belts sanded up. I didn't want to make you suffer. Oh, I rounded the corners, and I did this methodically too, and measured out each corner is the same, you know. But anyway, I didn't want to include too much sanding footage, but here we are. I got it clamped down to the corner of the table, and just I'm rounding out the corner of that walnut. I think I got a walnut square, which by far that walnut, it goes away a lot quicker than the maple. And here I am, just 60 grit, because it is hardwood. I got to make some progress. There's the rounded corner up close, and here's the product, right? After all that work, look at that. And right here, it's an open book. You can go with any edge. Okay, see that wetness? That's the old wet trick to raise the grain. Now the die-hard woodworkers will know that, and it's nice in this process because eventually you add that oil, which will raise the grain. So by making sure you do the wetness process. And here we go. After it dries completely, we're gonna hit it with 220. Anyway, what I was gonna say, making sure that you do the wet the grain, that when you go and put the oil on, it won't raise up as much, if at all, because you did that with water previously. But so here I am knocking that grain down with 220, and I do this twice. I hit it with the wetness again. You notice at this point in the process, I got cardboard on the work surface because I keep a clean bench, but still it's just not clean enough to put a finish, you know, something that's fine, 220 fine, you know. Here's that full clip of what I'm doing is I'm literally rubbing wood on wood, right? That's a piece of cherry hardwood, and I'm applying light pressure on this edge that I've hand sanded to 220 out of film to polish it. And you'll see, hopefully in those clips I included when I was showcasing this piece, that those edges are polished. Okay, a little bit of our oil there, and that's it. I mean, in all of its glory. That is that board, and you know, the rounded edges kind of seamlessly fall down the edge. And yeah, I couldn't be more happy with the way this project turned out. I mean, it's just really, it's almost like a optical illusion because all the squares. Once again, I want to just say thanks for clicking and watching some of this video. These hardwood cutting boards are an extra mile, you know, versus the face grain. Face grains are beautiful, but a lot of times you'll see a cutting board with a lot of knife marks in it. Well, that's because it's slicing the wood, obviously. Whereas these EndGrain boards, because it's the flat, it's the perpendicular edge of the wood that you're slicing into, the grain actually it's like resistant. It like self heals. It's resistant to the knife blade. It's also better for your chef's knives if you have some high-end knives that you want to keep the edge good on. These boards are better for stuff like that. This one, once again, is maple and walnut. It's a checkerboard pattern, and it is for sale on my Etsy. The link for my Etsy shop, which is the platform I sell my products off of, is in my YouTube bio. Okay. I also have an Instagram and Facebook account, Candid Craftsman, Facebook, and then my Instagram is Candid_Craftsman67. Hopefully this video serves a purpose to someone out there. Maybe check out the homemade router sled. But at the end of the day, this is the second video I wanted to conclude that I did end up making a cutting board out of that piece of wood that I showed 2 videos ago. So probably I will upload within the next week. I got that kitchen cutting board project, which is really intricate coming up. So I included a couple of clips in the beginning of this, but probably do some more on that, and that'll probably be the next video.